first as a beginner. Hello family, my name is Joe Brown, aka Black Feniks, and I am the owner and founder of HogOn Welding LLC and HogOn University. Today I wanted to talk to you about MIG welding and why, as a beginner, you should start with this process. And I'm going to give you a few things that's on this posting real quick because I thought it was very, very important. It says gas metal arc advantages. A wide range of materials can be welded faster than stick welding, SMAW welding, relatively inexpensive for home use, no slag, good for pour, fit up, and gaps. So if you're welding on something and you got gaps and it's good for beginners, you can actually put more metal in. There's no slag, so as long as you got the proper gas flow and you learn how to use this gun. This is very, very, very easy process. When I went to school, and this was in the early 2001, when they taught me the MIG welding process, I actually learned stick first. Then we stayed on MIG. We didn't stay on MIG that long, and then I went to TIG. But I did all processes in the MIG. And I wanted to say something about this process. Some welders would say that, oh, a person isn't a welder if he can't weld stick, because stick welding was one of the first processes introduced. It was one of the processes that actually saved us during World War II, welding on the ships. There was a lot of women who got introduced to welding during that time, and it was stick welding, 70-18, 60-11, 60-10. So the stick welding process is actually one that requires skill. You know, it does require skill, but it also requires skill to learn how to MIG weld, but you can actually learn this process a little faster. And the cool thing about MIG welding is once you understand the angle, because it got the angle up here, once you understand having a 15-degree angle, how close to keep your gap, how much wire stick out to have. Normally, if you're doing short arc, like, you know, something like 035, 034 regular MIG, then you don't want no more than a half-inch stick out. If you're doing something like post arc where it's 200 amps or above, you know, then you can have up to an inch stick out. You can get a little bit more stick out. And then some processes of the MIG, you can actually do your patterns. And then some processes of the MIG, you just keep your position, and like post arc, it'll actually do its own thing. You pushing it, and it'll actually do the same thing. It'll give great penetration and all of the above. But learning this process, a lot of people would say that it's very, very, very inexpensive, and it's easy to learn from those who are hungry. I have seen people who wanted to learn welding and never welded before, never touched a welding gun, pick up this MIG gun and start welding. And they learned a process that actually they could transfer over to stick welding. They learned a couple things from the MIG welding they could actually transfer over to stick welding. Now, the process to doing this, and one thing why I say this is very important for a beginner, is because you can learn this process and instantly start making products for yourself. You can learn this process and start instantly go find you a job and start making good money. You can get your certifications working for a company with this process, so you don't have to go pay for your certifications. A lot of companies, shop fabrication shops, a lot of structural shops, ornamental shops will certify you being a MIG welder, so you can actually become a certified welder faster learning this process. And we want to cut the narrative, because a lot of people think you have to go to school to learn all of these things, and there's nothing wrong with going and learning combo welding. I learned combo welding, TIG, MIG, and stick. But if you're trying to get some finances, change your life, this is an easy process to learn. I have never seen no one, honestly, on a lot of these shop jobs throughout the country ask for a GED. A lot of people in rural areas probably didn't graduate high school, but you can have some skill. And this is a skill you can actually use without having a GED. I have seen it. You don't have to necessarily go to no BOTEC or no school that requires you to have those things learning this process. So that's why this process is very good for beginners, because you don't have to have a GED. You don't have to graduate from high school. You don't have to go to no college or vo-tech, and you don't have to be real skilled. You just got to have the passion and the hunger to learn this process. That's why this process is so grand. So I wanted to introduce this to you. I want to go check out some of my messages real quick. I see a few people hit me, but I want to introduce this process to you because it's very important and it's easy, especially in rural areas, man. I'm in Arkansas right now, southeast Arkansas in McGee. And in Dumas right now, Dumas, Arkansas, they got a company called Safe Hauling, and that company actually is welding and fabricating and putting together suspension systems for big trucks and trailers. A lot of welding, a lot of putting parts in. You learn a lot doing that type of fabrication or that type of welding. And even though this is like assembly line, so you get the process of learning how weld should look, learning how to be fast and accurate. There's so many things you can learn, but this is an opportunity in a small area where you can learn this MIG welding process and start making some major money. They starting people out there right now. If you can pass the weld test, you're making $20 an hour. And in southeast Arkansas, come on now, you know that's good money. That's good money in Arkansas, period. You know what I mean? So if you can actually make this and use this to invest in business or use it to grow your education and get more in depth into welding so you can take that process to go somewhere and travel and learn more. I mean, there's so many things you can do, but learning the MIG welding process, family, can change your life, especially for a beginner. What's going on this morning? Checking in everybody. Good rising, good rising. Yes, it's many females in the welding field. What's going on this rising, family? What's going on? There's many females. Actually, I have ran across a few Native American females that was great. I ran across a black female that was in Tulsa when I was there. She was a good stick welder. I actually ran across a few white females that was good stick welders and MIG welders. So, there are many welders out there, but I can't say this. It's few between in certain areas, but I can say this. In Dumas, Arkansas, I've seen more female welders there. I could probably count you at least 5 to 10 female welders there that was building products. They was putting products together. They was, working on the line, tacking certain things in, welding certain things, making some good welds from it. You know what I mean? So I've seen this personally. And Dumas, honestly, was the first place I seen the most black welders. I've been around welding, family, from South Carolina to Washington. Midwest, the north, the south, and I see more black welders in Dumas, Arkansas. Maybe because it's a high black populated area, but they do have a lot of welders there that's actually certified. That's literally coming in, pushing out some products, doing good. And this is just in this small area. So you got different places in Little Rock and all the different places that have black welders. Like it was a company in Little Rock that actually had a few black welders that I seen, and this was. Once I got out of prison, I was actually working there in 2011, 2012. I did a little project in Little Rock, and I was around some black welders there, but it wasn't a whole lot, but it was some there. So I can say that the need is building up, and that's why I wanted to talk to you about MIG welding, the MIG welding process, because it's a great need right now. Building products, making products out of using the wire that is actually more economical. It helps a person save money. You can actually produce more. It actually gives you a little less room for error. Once you get the process down, it's an easier process to fix if something go wrong. It's so many advantages, but one of the great advantages is you don't need a GED. You can actually start it by getting some tutoring or going to take some independent classes. And there's many opportunities with MIG welding, many opportunities. And then learning this, you can transfer that knowledge over. So by learning MIG welding, it'll be easier for you to learn flux core. It'll help you learn the stick. And if you want to get into the TIG welding, you can transfer some of that knowledge over. See, it's all about using what you got and transferring it over. Yes, there's different processes, different things you got to learn, but you can use the basic knowledge from MIG welding. So I wanted to talk about MIG welding because it's very, very important. This process can actually change your life, family. You can do so much from doing shop, doing 035 wire, doing flux core, from doing 035, doing 035 or 045, doing products, so, I have seen so much done with this process. It's unreal. So I just wanted to say this is one process that can change your life. You can learn this process very fast. I have a program that I teach, actually a class that I teach. I have a 30-hour and a 50-hour and a 8-hour course. So some people want to get some refreshing. Some people take the small course just to see if this is what they want to do, and they'll take it off and start tinkering on their own. Most people that take the 8-hour already got a welder, and they want to tinker around the shop. They want to build some things. So they do the 8-hour course, which is $250 for me to show them how to use it. And most people catch on in that process too. I can say in that time, I can teach a person how to weld, especially if they already got some idea. And from some people that don't. So I had a guy that I got in 10 hours, I got him in a horizontal position within 10 hours, and he was dropping some nice beads. So it all depends on the person's passion and willingness to learn, and the teacher. So I'm not going to brag on myself, but I feel like I'm a good teacher. You know what I mean? But there's so much you can learn doing this process. So I wanted to introduce this to you and just let you know there's many ways you can learn. And like I say, I teach it. The 30-hour course is normally $750 due to the wire and different things I have to purchase, the gas and plates and stuff I have to get to actually get us through the process. The 50-hour course is actually $1,000, which you would learn in that process MIG welding and flux core, and we'll be doing some fabrication and some blueprint reading. So we kind of kill a few birds in one stone, and that's 50 hours. So I try to cater things to the area. My goal is to not make it real expensive because I know where I'm at, but I also got to compensate for my time and, lights and other things and getting equipment and upgrading equipment, because my goal is to get better and better equipment as time go by. You can't just milk a cow all the time. It's going to eventually, give out. So it's good to keep your equipment updated, but use what you got to, till you have to upgrade. But my goal is to help people gain some education with MIG welding, stick welding, and TIG welding. But MIG welding process can change your life, family. So just wanted to say that this rising. I know a lot of people up on the grind. Appreciate it. Thanks for that. Checking in from Cali. Good rising. You up kind of early, man. So I just wanted to give some people some updates. Like I say, my MIG welding courses is very inexpensive, and my goal is to help people learn the process. So if you would just take the time to Google some of the welding courses and classes and different facilities right now that actually be like $3,000, $2,000, 45, 15,000, 10,000, 12. It depends on what you want to learn. And this is my goal, family. I would rather work for the people. I would rather work for you. I would rather help the people learn. I would rather help the people than work for the companies. I like to network, but I don't like to work for anyone but myself. But I love to help my people learn. And I'm not gonna lie, it's more satisfying to see a brother who was in one situation, or a sister, and they got some education and took their life to another level. Even if we only communicated on the point as me teaching them and they went on, and then some that come back and be like, hey man, we network and we become family, you know what I mean? So to me, I think that it's a cool thing to help someone change and to leave that niche, that I actually use what I learned and passed it down. So that's why I enjoy teaching, and that's why I enjoy trying to make it affordable and help people. And also for the area, if you have a teenager from the ages of 12 through the ages of 24 and they want to learn some independent welding, my goal is to also teach them. We have a sponsorship program. We actually raise money to try to get $1,000 a student, because we buy the welding equipment, we get their gear, we get their coats, we get everything they need on top of teaching them. You know what I mean? My goal is to send young welders out into the world with a new perspective, help some of the degenerates from the rural areas, people that they felt like, oh, he ain't gonna make it, so-and-so gonna go to jail, so-and-so gonna stay in something. I want to grab them, man, because I was once that adolescent. I was once that same child that was blind, and I didn't have no guide. And those that I looked up to was from the streets. And I don't want them looking up to someone that can actually put them in harm's way, because that's really what happens when you really think about it, when it's all said and done. So I just want to give them a different perspective. Not necessarily just be a role model, but give them some information. Give them some tools that they can be able to make some better decisions as far as, okay, I can get some money like this, because you know, coming from rural areas, coming from anywhere where you never had, and you can get a skill, or you can, you know, change your life, or you can make more than minimum wage, where you can start off between $15 to $20, learning something, and you can get better over time, and you can have a company pay for your skills and pay for your service and pay for you to move and travel and do things. You know, there's so much you can do using that money to make investments, to do other things, for retirement and for your future, for your kids and grandkids and all those things. So, you know, we just have to think outside the box. But I know that MIG welding can change your life. So if you're in an area and you can find some MIG welding courses, you can find someone that's a vet, or I would say a master, or someone that's seasoned who can teach you some MIG welding. That is a process that can change your life. In a lot of major cities, small towns, they're doing a lot of fabrication, a lot of products, a lot of manufacturing. So keep that in mind. Like I said, I just wanted to say that this rising, wanted to touch bases with everybody. I want to touch bases with everybody, man. Just let everybody know that my goal is to aid and assist and to help us grow and develop with education. And learning the MIG welding process, family, is one process, family, that you can learn. It's not hard for those who like, man, the sparks and flames with the stick. This right here is more easier. You can control it. It's not all wild. It's actually a process I believe you can learn quickly, very quickly, and you can be able to change your life. So why this process is important? Because you can start very easy. You can build a lot of products. You can fix a lot of small problems. You can be able to grow fast with the MIG welding process. So wanted to say that before I let y'all go. Hopefully everybody have a blessed day. Continues to prosper. HogOn.